we say that, let's say that the wave 1 initiated. So this is wave 1. This is wave 2. Now, what are the rules? If you keep these rules in mind, you will not make mistakes. Let's write down here. Rules for Elliot wave. Let's call it EW. So rule number 1. Rule number 1 is that wave 2 will never retrace 100% of wave 1. Keep this in mind. So this is rule number 1. That's when we will say that the wave or the impulse has started. Let me just notate it also. Let's just call it rule number 1. So I'll just write 1. So wave 2 will never retrace wave 1 by 100%. What does this mean? Let's say that this is wave 1. Let's just notate it. So let's say this is wave 1, and we see that the correction is happening. Now this is wave 2. What we say, rule number 1 is wave 2 never retraces wave 1 by 100%. Okay, so it can be 99.99%, but never 100%. So keep this rule in mind. That is rule number 1. Let's just notate it here. This is wave 2. Before we move on, let's just assume that what will happen if this retraces 100%. So let me just draw a horizontal line here at the bottom of wave 1. What if this retraces 100%? Well, we will call it wave failure. We'll call it wave failure. What does wave failure means? That the impulse has not started yet. So what you can expect is the market will still move down, and then you can see here. So we'll say the impulse has started once. Wave 2 never retraces wave 1 by 100%. Well, rule number 2 is wave 3 is never the shortest, okay, and often the longest wave. So what does this mean? So once 2 is done, the correction is done, we will have an impulse upward that we call as wave 3. So if this is wave 1 and this is wave 3, this is often the longest of all the waves and never the shortest. So this is rule number 2 for Elliot wave. Well, sometimes when you are spotting the waves, what you see is that you do something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why this is wrong? Because what we say is wave 3 is often the longest. So you should know that wave 3 cannot be this one, because this is shortest or the shorter one. Wave 3 is often the longest. That means you are doing something wrong. Let's move back to our FTM example. To understand if it's longest or the shortest, there are of course many methods. So one of them is you just take this box. So this is the length or height of wave 1, you can say. If I take this box and put it there where the wave 2 has started, you see that wave 3 is longer than wave 1. The price is higher. So it's almost double than wave 1. So this is our rule number 2, that wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest wave. So rule number 3 is about wave 4, of course. So wave 4 can never enter into the territory of wave 2. If we draw horizontal lines just to see the territory of wave 2, so it's here and here. So this all is wave 2 territory, you can say. Okay, so I will just draw a box here. So this is wave 2. So this range is wave 2 territory. What we are saying is that wave 4 can never enter into the territory of wave 2. Wave 4 has to bounce back before it enters or reaches the territory of wave 2. So this is rule number 4. So the next thing to keep in mind, you can call it the next rule, that is called rule of alteration. Rule of alteration means that if wave 2 retraces more, let me just delete these lines. So if wave 2 retraces more, let's say you see a deeper correction, then you can expect wave 4 to do a very shallow correction. Alternatively, if wave 2 did a shallow correction, you can expect wave 4 to do a deeper correction, but it will not enter into territory of wave 2. Okay, if we see the FTM chart, what you see here, you see wave 2 has done a deeper correction. What we see, wave 4 has done a shallow correction. So this came a lot lower, but this did not came that much lower. Let me just repeat this all again very quickly. First, wave 2 will never retrace wave 1 by 100%. So if we draw, we can see it here also, but let me just draw a horizontal line. So wave 2 did not retrace wave 1 by 100%. Rule number 2 is wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest. So we have already seen this in terms of box that it is not the shortest wave. Wave 1 is the shortest in this structure. What's the next? Wave 4 can never enter into territory of wave 2. In high leverage markets like crypto, it can enter, but not the body of the candle, by just a wick. You can ignore the wick. So let me just draw a line here. So this is where the body is. You can take it to the wick also. But if you see here, this is wave 4, and if you see, it almost touched but never entered into the territory. See, it almost touched. So this is what the rule number 3 is. So I hope this makes sense. Now you can move on and try to draw waves. Let's move on to BTC, just another practice. Let's move to BTC. Let's see what's happening there. Let's see, go to the bigger chart. Let's go to BTC USD and see the chart. Okay, so what you see here, well, we can clearly see that. Let's go to a better chart. I'm not going into details, just trying to show you the waves. We'll go further into details about the time frames and all that stuff. But keeping the rules in mind, what you see here, this is wave 1, this is wave 2. Can this be wave 3? No. What we have discussed about wave 3 is often the longest. That means this cannot be 3 and 4, right? This is what I told you, that if you know the rules, you will not make the mistake. You cannot just say because this is a high and this is a low, this is a complete wave. This can be a sub wave. So 1, 2, of course, the next high is this, 3, 4, and 5 is yet to come. When we'll move on, I will share with you examples. I will share with you more rules, more advanced techniques of Elliot Wave, and with practice, after some time, you will start seeing that you are actually drawing it correctly. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next lecture.